So hello everyone, welcome to my review of the Franxx episode 21. The true final girl of Zerotwo, right? That was awesome. And you have to really watch the last second, right? The last, not really ending, after ending, because there was no ending, but kind of like that. But have some, I guess, some credits there during the action, right? And then we see her, I don't know, dying, or at least her horn is breaking off. So something happened to her there, and I'm guessing that she has like her mind has entered the mecha, probably. I'm guessing her mind entered Sterasi apath. I think it's called, yeah, apath, right? Yeah, something like that. It's probably something like that, and then here kind of gets control, maybe. Yeah, maybe, or she's lost a lot of power, right? She's actually losing her Claxorus redness, something. That's why her horn is breaking off. Can also be it, as we see with Ikano earlier, when she's shooting this massive wave, right? And then her hair turned white. She's losing her kind of youth there, blasting off some kind of energy wave, right? Because it consumes her health. So it also could be that she's losing her horn. That's kind of what is horn, right? Because she just blasted off this massive blue-red beam that blew up the freaking sky, right? And that, of course, could have ruined her like Claxorus DNA or something, or her life force. So it could be like that, or she actually is dying, or Zerotwo actually just died. But I can't see that happening because the main reason I want to see it is because I think it's been a huge reverse death flag with Zerotwo a couple episodes earlier, episode 17, 18, and so on, and also generally early as well. But the one main thing for me why she's not gonna die is because when Kokoro was talking about getting pregnant, getting kids and so on, Zerotwo is like, oh, I can't have children. My life is unfair. I'm not human. No one can pregnate me, and so on. So she's like, oh, I hate my life, and blah blah blah. Everything's unfair for me. And I think that for me is a big pointer that she's gonna get pregnant, right? How? Well, obviously, Hero is turning into a Claxorus with the blue horns. So he, of course, her darling can of course pregnant her, even if she doesn't believe them, but he probably can. And I think definitely the anime is going to end with Zerotwo either being pregnant or having two children, where the both children are kind of similar to, of course, the parents and Hero and herself, and then potentially being pregnant again with third children. But probably either be pregnant, yeah, I think that for sure. So I think there's been a lot of reverse effects for her. I have a very hard time seeing her dying. Hopefully I won't be wrong, because I don't think anyone's going to die, but I don't think so. So yeah, I don't think she's dead. I think she's either fusing with the mecha, or she lost all her, power, so to speak. And now Hero then probably has to be like, well, I can turn into a blue class thing now. I can be a class hero, so I can fight for something. He has to show his power, potentially. That being said, though, it was kind of like an honors with season 2, though. It was season 2, but it was kind of like, we will be back with bigger armies. It was kind of like that, but yeah, we're returning next year. So it was kind of like that. But what could happen, though, is something that they might do a time skip, right? They might actually do a time skip now in the last 2 episodes. That could be interesting. I don't think they will, because they're probably turning quite rapidly, but it could be that they actually do at least a mind time skip, because they're like, yeah, you're leaving Earth now, the force got destroyed, so it could return, in like 7 years, something like that. Yeah, it could be like that, and they could have a case of stuff like that. Probably not, though. One reason I want thing to happen is because we see Alpha 9 being like, Papa! And he has to fight Ichigo, right? Ichigo has to pretty much beat up this super annoying guy, right? And I think that's going to happen probably next episode or 2 episodes from now on. As this whole thing is happening, he's probably going to go all fanatic, right? He's going to get more crazy. And so eventually he has to run into them, right? They fall in this massive hole, but I'm sure that Gobro, where he survives, right? So they're probably going to end up the hole, eventually leaving that place. I think generally what's happening is he's going to try to injure Zerotwo. He's probably going to have to kill them to stop the fading virm, and then of course Ichigo's going to enter and be like no, and then probably kill him or beat him up at least. So yeah, I think that Ichigo and Goro get out of the hole probably next episode, and then the last episode they're going to probably fight him, right, as a kind of defending Hero and Zerotwo. That's probably it. Because everyone else died, right, from the 9s. I think everyone else died. I could see at least, and that was very brutal. We see they're ripping off the magma, blood is flying everywhere. It was very brutal. But on the same time, I was like, yes, die! I'm like, just kill them off. Such an annoying, fanatic person. I never liked the kind of characters, any kind of storytelling. It doesn't matter what media it is. Never liked it in game, movies, whatever, right? I don't mind fanatic characters to a degree, but I do feel kind of weird. It's like let's say they have a typical show like Supernatural, and there are a few times there we have people like, I don't believe in God, you know, there are no, you know, there are atheists, so to speak, right? And then in that TV show, they have, you know, angels and demons, you have literally have God, right? So yeah, if you evidently prove that world there is a God, a couple of characters, they kind of like, no, I don't believe in God. It's like, here's an angel. No, this is not God. Yeah, like I see science, like that. That is kind of like, you know, but they usually change over, right? But characters that are fanatical and they refuse to accept what they see, yeah, I never liked that. So it's kind of nice here. They're really annoying. I never liked them before, and now the pop is like, I'm gonna murder everyone on the planet. You're all gonna die. And he's like, Papa's right. What should we do, Papa? Like, don't you hear what you said? He's gonna kill you. Like, he's gonna murder you. He doesn't care about your kid. He's like, but Papa's always right. Like, god damn it, yeah. That's what means she's like an absurd level of, you know, zero, sad thoughts and so on. And it doesn't, to me, it doesn't feel very realistic, right? You would have so absurdly little self. Yeah, like, probably should maybe reconsider what you're doing here, right? So, that annoys me. So I'm not a big fan of it, and yeah, so I'm happy most of them died. And I think he's only alive again to fight Ichigo. I think that's the only reason he's alive, right? So he can be some kind of extra foil, so, you know, minor antagonist, right, for the good guys, probably. Ikuno, remember, she's out, I guess. She's old. I could see the other two jumping in. Maybe Fudoshi, Kokoro, Mitsui. Maybe, yeah, they have some chance to enter. Miku, so they might do something, but the fact that they all got kind of like, they didn't die, but they all got injured and so on down there, they probably won't happen. That's why I think Ichigo again and Goro, because we didn't see them get injured. We saw them in the class thing, oh, they're falling off the cliff. Yeah, we saw them like, they disappear into the darkness. That's what they again will be the ones arriving and doing something extra, right? Because we didn't see them actually getting injured, or yeah, like they kind of got off screen, right? Which means they can return at any moment to fight people. So yeah. I mean, that could be it, definitely. What more happened? Oh yeah, the Franxx thing. I was like, man, that guy's a bad scientist. Like, so he's carrying around his like cyborg mecha arm, right, the robo arm, with the DNA inside of him, and he's like, yeah, use my arm, open the door. That was pretty cool how he opened the door there. But after he's lying there, he's dying, right? He's bleeding out, and it's just like, how do you build that thing? That's a horrible design. It's a horrible design flaw. You're like, if you remove this robotic arm, you die. You want to make it, you know, detachable, like this part here can, you know, get off, and then you can throw the thing off that, like that. Probably that arm, yeah, throw that arm, and you can see a line, it's like, and it's like, no, my muscle tissue is still left there. It's like, it's a bad engineer. This is a really bad design, big design flaw. And then, of course, he's lying there in his huge pool of blood, right? And we see the breeze falling on him. So he is dead. He is dead. I have a very hard time seeing Dr. Franxx, or Werner Franxx, getting out of this thing. He is extremely likely dead, right? He got the redemption there about helping them and getting a thank you from Zerotwo. So he's kind of like, it's also a big thing. His whole story is done, right? He has the flashback thing, his wife. The only thing of his wife could have more backstory, I suppose, but I guess she won't. That could have been it, like he used her DNA to create CO2 or something as well, right? They kind of hinted to that, but they didn't mention it, so I guess it's just that. But otherwise, his whole story is definitely finished, and he got the redemption on. Yeah, he's 99.9% dead. Where I would say that everyone else is kind of like 50-50 or so. For sure. But Kokoro can't die either. In the similar thing here, but even more days or so on. Because she is pregnant. We saw her puking last week. So there is no way Kokoro's gonna die. She's gonna give birth to like the first human that was been born for 100 years. So there's no way she's gonna die. Absolutely no way. That would make zero sense whatsoever. And anyway, last thing then. I kinda like how Papa only has to make people immortal and being kind of slaves, right? The Matrix slaves. He also made them apparently so he can suck the energy when he's like leaving. Like, oh, he's like absorbing up a lot of human souls, right? Kind of like their life battery into his like the energy thing. And we see that a few of the papas are apparently humans though. The main guys, it's head team, a few of them aren't, and then they also get into like extracted into them the I don't know, the Borg's thing. I don't know, like the mind hive energy thing or something. And they're like, yay, we're stronger. So I guess that's how he get his power, by getting people I guess that's how he gets his power level, yeah. By like getting life or something like that around the planet. But yeah, I think it's gonna turn very rapidly. But it would be cool actually. It could be cooler if they did a time skip thing. But if you haven't seen the Zerotwo thing, which is getting injured and might be dying, then I would say, yeah, they could. Then it could be more reasonable. But now I feel like they have to jump in there pretty rapidly, right? They kind of Zerotwo is gonna be turned into a mecha probably, and then they have to return and fight there. I can't, because otherwise it'd be like we did Zerotwo go, they do a time skip. Maybe it can be a tragic thing there, but it feels like it's too late in this season, right? It's like it's only two episodes left, right? Or 3 episodes left. Well, yeah, two left. And if it was like 10 left, like yeah, sure, then I could see that being she's dying, then she can return her life force after a while, right? But not now. No, it's too short now. So I think this is gonna be either powerless or fusing into the thing. That is my theory on it. Otherwise, yeah, it's a pretty good episode. One thing I would say though, I'm a bit nitpicking here, it was very cliche in sense, which is something absurd to say, and that is a typical, I'm standing here, you guys run, I will fight, yeah, that thing, right? I mean, we see it in everything for Lord of the Rings, right? With Gandalf, spoiler, until pretty much many animes, right? Where one of the Nakamas, one of the friends would be like, I will fight this guy, okay? You guys go on ahead, right? And they're like, no, don't die, like, I will fight this guy. And then the next guy, right? And the next room's like, I fight this guy, and then then they leave, 1 or 2 persons per room, right, or per like corridor, and then eventually it only is the main character left, like I have to fight God alone or something, yeah. And that's kind of what we see here, right? You see like go through there. There's the Franxx arm. The snake arrives. Snake enters and helps Zerotwo, and then the snake dies from I don't know the wall or something, and then and eventually it's only her left, right? But even the princess is like, take my power, girl! I believe in you, daughter! Yeah, even she's like, I believe in you, my girl. And she also kind of dies. So they're all doing that, like, bam, 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 bam. Yeah, they're very much doing that. Classic sacrificial path there. Every friend is like, losing their life force to, push on the main character to reach her goal, right? So, yeah, I don't mind it. I don't mind it because it's like one of the most typical storytellers ever. But still, though, if we're nitpicking, yeah, like, that's something we have seen in, I don't know, thousands of other animes. So like, I guess this is like the most basic storytelling, that you have this number of friends, and then they all die or kind of almost die, right? And then they have the last battle there with the final person to make it more dramatic for the final person, yeah. And every person being left behind is kind of like, no, don't worry, I will live. Yeah, and they usually do as well. Yeah, they usually do survive. So, yeah, it is what it is. I think that episode, I really like seeing her true form in the end there. That was pretty cool. And I would say actually the worst episode for me was that she didn't stay in red form. Yeah, she went into a human form again afterwards. I would like to just said, screw it, I'm a red girl, I'm gonna stay red. That's probably actually my biggest disappointing episode there. I wish she should stay red. But it could be sad stuff, she turned red and then white again because her power was really reduced. So I don't know. But I would say that I wish she was just red with big, sexy horns all the time, right? Alright, hope I see you, and I'll see you guys next week.